Hi, and welcome to another edition of Spotlight on the Arts. I'm Jay Hendelman here with Carrie Seidman, and we've got a busy week of theater. We're sort of in a lull period before the season gets going, but
except for theater.
There's a theater opening every week, and this week we have 3 or 4. May require a little driving here and there, but so why don't you get us started and let people know what we can see this week?
Well, this first one is kind of for all ages, which is kind of nice because you don't find that often around here. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, based on the C.S. Lewis novel, is at the Venice Theater as part of their Generations program, for family-friendly kind of program. Right. I don't think I need to tell a whole lot about it. I think most people have read it. It's a wonderful story about some children who discover a fantasy world within an old wardrobe. So that starts this weekend at, is it on the Pinkerton stage?
It's in the Pinkerton Theater. It's a small stage.
Theater, yeah. So
I remember when I was a kid, I didn't understand what a wardrobe was.
I know, well that's kind of a British.
Fancy contained
that's what
closet,
the British call it.
Right. But it's a fun show. And hopefully this production will introduce a lot of people to that story.
And now for something completely different.
On Monday, on September 12th, the Community AIDS Network and the Suncoast AIDS Theater Project are regrouping after a failed effort in June to present Divas Do Garland. And the failed effort was the weather. There was bad storms the weekend they were going to do it, and a lot of the performers who were coming from St. Petersburg couldn't get over the Skyway. So they've rescheduled, and there are about more than a dozen area performers: Andy Morrison, Eve Caballero, Matthew McGee, Ben Toroff, Marilyn Jennings, Catherine Parks.
Wow, great people.
There's some really great singers who are going to be just singing some of the hits of Judy Garland, who is a gay icon, and it's all raising money for the Community AIDS Network. And Carolyn Michael and Scott George are going to be the hosts of the event, which is going to be at the Cook Theater. And the tickets are $25 or $75 that include a VIP reception beforehand and special seating. So that's up at the FSU Center for the Performing Arts. And
another theater selection, although not live, is the end of the Sarasota Opera's HD series of performances that are transmitted in from theaters around the world, and they have Shakespeare's The Merchant of Venice from the Globe Theater. It doesn't get much better than that. And if you've not been to any of the HD performances, they're really a treat to be able to see that caliber of a performance, in a theater in Sarasota is really great.
And they've been doing very well with them, from what I understand.
Have they? Yeah, and I know the ballet ones have been very popular.
And Jonathan Pryce is playing Shylock in this.
Oh, right.
So it's, that's probably worth investigating on its own.
Right.
I think we mentioned this briefly last week, but at the Lemon Bay Playhouse, they're opening a production of Exit Laughing, a play by Paul Elliott. It's being directed by Peter Ivanov, who staged the show last year at the Venice Theater, and he's got 3 of his actresses have rejoined him. And this is a play about a group of women who have a bridge group every week, and one of their members dies, and they aren't ready to deal with her departure. So one of them steals her ashes from the funeral home, and they're going to have one last game. And that, of course, raises all sorts of complications, because what do you do when the ashes go missing? But that's at the Lemon Bay Playhouse, running through September 25th.
Well, that sounds like a good laugh. And also, perhaps, this would be, they are doing Steve Martin's The Underpants, based on a German farce known as Die Hose, which I looked up this in German. It should be Die Unterhose, to really be accurate. Okay. But anyway, it's a satire about a government worker who's kind of has a humdrum life, and his life is kind of turned upside down when his wife's bloomers fall down during a parade or something like that.
And so suddenly they have a lot of interest for their the apartment there, or the room that they're trying to rent. Right. Everybody wants to be near this woman. So
right, exactly. So that's a little shot of Steve Martin before he's actually here this year with Martin Short at the Van Wezel later in the year.
Yeah. And the last thing we're going to mention at the moment is David Lindsay Abair's Good People, which is opening at American Stage in St. Petersburg, and it's being directed by Stephanie Gallart, who is the new producing artistic director up there. And this is the first show of a season that she picked. She's been here for almost a year, but doing shows that were picked by her predecessors. And this play was done at the Oslo 2 years ago. It's funny and very emotionally touching about people in South Boston. This one woman who has a child who's disabled, and she loses her job at a big box store and is trying to figure out a way to pay the rent and take care of her daughter and herself, and bingo isn't going to do it, and so she turns to an old boyfriend, and that causes some problems. But it's a good commentary on the state of the economy. It really sort of fits in with what's going on in the discourse of the political campaign, so it's very timely. And so that's opening this weekend and running until October 2nd up in St. Pete.
And I know we didn't have any dance this week, but I'm going to just interject a little bit of dance here because I want to give a shout out to Lemus Bolaños Wilmot, who's the director of Sarasota Contemporary Dance, who just had a little girl.
Oh, great.
Yeah, Vlada Elizabeth. So we're all eager to welcome the newest young dancer into our community.
She came out dancing, I guess?
I would assume.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can read about all this and much more in the Herald-Tribune's art section on Sunday, in the ticket section on Thursday, or on our new and a much improved website, heraldtribune.com/ticket.
We'll see you next week.